Hi friends, welcome back to the Patreon. Welcome back to a very strange video. I have never ever done a tier list before. So today I really wanted to try it out with you. I actually had this planned as part of my Fear Street video, but it just got too long and the editing for that was so intense that I decided I'd save this part and give it to you guys as an exclusive. So today I'm going to go through and I've screenshotted all of these myself from Fear Street and go through all of the kills. So it's not really kills, I'd say it's more the death scenes. We'll get into it, but I started listing them all down when I was watching them, and I did all of this research and I took all of these screenshots and I thought it'd be really cool to turn it into a tier ranking. I've never done a tier ranking before, so we're going to be figuring out it together. From what I know, I just go to this tiermaker.com. That's the one I'm using. And I just put in all of the details and all of my pictures, and I put titles on them all so we can see what they are. Because a lot of the deaths in Fear Street are very, it's very dark. So, and when I say dark, I mean lighting wise. So obviously there's spoilers in this video, so don't watch. You probably can see all of the titles, which, yeah, just don't watch if you haven't seen the full series. So let's start at the top. If you guys remember this 12 kids' eyes carved out one, this is from the scene in the third one when they go in to the church and all the kids have carved out eyes. Interesting about this one is Cypress. Is that his name? Cypress. He also had his eyes carved out, but he didn't die. But all of the kids were automatically dead. I thought that this was super disturbing. So I'm actually going to give this a pretty high mark. I thought that was a really disturbing part of the whole trilogy. So I'm going to go up to, I'm going to give it an A. I actually really liked that kill, or that death scene, I guess. Because a lot of these, as you can see right now, you don't actually see the kill, you see the death or the dead body, which makes this very morbid. Okay, next one is Alice. So Alice dies in the second one. What does she get? She gets stabbed. I think she gets stabbed by Tommy. So I thought that Alice's death was actually kind of lackluster. I'm going to give it a C. She was such a good character, and she just had her character arc with her and her friend, who is Ziggy's sister, finally, reconnecting and realizing that they both have kind of done wrong. And then she's killed all of a sudden when she says, like, let's go do this. Let's go, release Sarah or whatever. I don't know how much they know at that point. But yeah, I thought it was kind of lackluster to how cool her character was. The next one is her boyfriend, Arnie, which actually this kill was really gruesome. You can see by the little picture maybe. It's an axe to the face by Tommy. And I'm put it in B. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should put it, I don't know if it deserves to go right next to the kids carved out. Maybe I should put the kids carved out in soup. Is that, I don't know what the S means, super? I'm going to put Arnie up here. That makes more sense. I thought Arnie's kill was super graphic, lots of CGI, lots of blood, straight to the eye, very intense. Betty, he is the nurse in the first one, and he dies. Yeah, he's a very interesting character because his name is Eddie, and then they put a B on top of his name tag. I'm going to say that actually I thought his kill was pretty gnarly, so I'm gonna give it a B. I thought it was pretty gnarly. It was pretty unexpected. Cindy is that right? Cindy, yeah. Cindy is Ziggy's sister, Ziggy and Ziggy's sister, which they actually, I put them together. You can see them right here. I put the people who, even if they regenerate or come back from the dead, they still have a death scene. So Ziggy and Cindy, that's a pretty iconic death. They both die, reaching out to each other. I think that was one of the best deaths, to be honest. So I'm actually going to put Ziggy right next to her as well. Cindy kills Tommy. Oh, so Cindy is, obviously we just looked at Cindy. Cindy is Ziggy's sister. Tommy was her boyfriend, and she kills him twice. So the first one I think was just a stabbing, I believe. I'm trying to see the picture. Let's see if I can pull it up. Sorry, guys. Oh, yeah, there's a stabbing. And then the second one is is that a decapitation? Wow, the decapitation is way more brutal. So I would say if the stabbing probably gets about a I mean, it's pretty, I don't even remember it, so maybe it should be a C. But the decapitation always, I think that's an A. That is so gruesome, so intense. The next one is the deformed boy, who was one of the villains we don't learn much about. Obviously, I put this in quotations. Don't really like the title of this character, but we don't see who they kill, but it is a pretty intense moment. I'm actually going to give that one an A. That was quite scary. Gary is the guy who is trying to help and get Cindy and Alice up through the toilet hole. What do you call that? And he gets himself decapitated and his body falls down that little well thing. So I actually think that's A as well. I think that was a pretty good one. Good, which is the last kill of the show. Obviously straight to the eye. I think that we could have done better. Like this, for theatrical purposes, would have gone here, but I actually think that's a B. He gets stabbed in the eye. And that's kind of it for him. You know, I think with everyone else's death, it should have been a lot better than that. The grifter, we don't really understand too much what's going on here, but he is drowning someone in the lake. So I'm going to give it a B. Sarah's hand, I gave Sarah's hand her own death scene. And I think that that's so appropriate. I think that it goes up in S as well because that was so creepy and like, ugh. Heather was the first death of the series, and Heather kind of has the Drew Barrymore death of, you know, like Scream to this. And I think that, I mean, I don't think it's that great. It's very theatrical, but it's not like the best idea. It's not very original. But I think the whole scene and all is fun. So I'd probably go between a B. Actually, I'm going to give it a B for the actual death itself. Jeremy was in the camp and he was getting bullied by people, and his death is kind of not put on camera. So Tommy comes up and just like beats the shit out of him pretty much. But you can only kind of see Tommy in the background. So I'm going to give him a C. I'm going to give him a D actually. You don't see anything. Joan, she has sex and then she dies. As per all the rules. And I actually really liked Joan. I'm kind of sad about it. But you don't see too much, I believe. Oh, no, you do see. I think you see a whack to the head. And then you see her bloody body. So I'm going to give her a B. Kate. This is, I mean, we need a new setting for this. We need a new level for this. But I'm going to put her at the very front if I can. No, I can't. Okay. Kate is the scene that everyone talks about. She got, I know I just put it up there without even saying what I'm going to do. She was the person who went through the bread slicer. That is definitely like the kill that everyone talks about, that one of the best kills in the whole show. We have Mall Cop 1 and Mall Cop 2 who both died in the last one when they go in and, you know, do the 1994 part 2. And yes, they... I mean, it was kind of a lackluster. I don't even know why they were there, just to create like a new sense of danger for the villains who would just come in and start killing people. So they just like brought in some random bodies for them to kill off so that it was like, I don't know, more of an urgent situation. I think that that was kind of like poorly done, to be honest. So I'm going to give them a D. Milkman, we see him in the flashback and he kills someone randomly in a suburban setting. And Milkman's really creepy. I'm actually going to give him a... Should I give him a B or an A for that one? A B, maybe. We don't know who it is. Cypress, he gets stuck with a, what is that even called? With a stake? It's not a stake. With a, what is it? Is it a hoe? No, a hoe's like, I don't know what it's, a fork? He gets stuck with a fork by Good himself. And I mean, he just carved out his eyes, so I don't know. I think I'm going to give that one a B. I wish he would have died in a more... I mean, Cypress was good, though. So that's what's kind of sad about it. It was... Yeah, it's Cypress, right? Yeah. Peter, he is actually one of the first people, other than Heather, to... Oh, Heather and Ryan. Sorry, Ryan. To die. Well, one of the first, like... people within the story that we are following to die, and he is the girlfriend. He is the boyfriend of Sam, who was going out with Dina, and he just gets a stake. It's kind of like a surprise death though, so I think it's actually a kind of cool one. And it really kicked off the show to show you how brutal it was. Even though it's a stabbing just like it was for Heather, I just felt like it was very unexpected, so I really liked that one. One of my favorite scenes is the villains fight, which is in the third one, 1994 part 2, where they just like they pour the blood on all of them and then they all attack each other and they're just like regenerating and killing each other. I think it's just a funny scene. I'm gonna give that one an A. I thought that was a really cool idea. Ruby Lane, this one definitely is a D. We don't get to see much of it. We just know that Ruby Lane killed someone she knew, and you just kind of see this close-up face, but you don't see a lot, so definitely not the best that they could have done. Ryan. That's Ryan. I'm trying to remember who Ryan. Oh, Ryan. That's the second time I've forgotten Ryan in this video. Ryan is the killer from the first one, and he's the guy who worked in the mall and went crazy, and he gets shot by Good. I'm gonna give him a C. Oh, I don't know, maybe a B. I think I'm gonna give him a B. I think it's always pretty disturbing to see a kid being shot. Like, yeah, that's a lot for me. Sam kind of dies and then comes back to life. They try and drown her. Kind of lackluster. You kind of see it in the moment, but there's so many other things happening, including Kate with the bread slicer, that it's not really the greatest way that they could have done it. It's interesting, but I feel like it's more of a time restraint that you're worried about more than like the actual death herself, which death itself, not herself. Death isn't a girl, but could be. Sarah, Fear, that is, I guess that's up there. It's probably one of the most disturbing deaths. Deaths by like, you know, a group deciding to hang you is a lot. So that's definitely up there. It's one of like, yeah, it makes my skin kind of crawl. And I felt like really weird about when I was screenshotting all of these, thinking, what am I going to screenshot with Sarah? Because I don't want to show someone's body doing that. Like, it's so disturbing. So anyway, there you go. Simon, he was one of my favorite characters in the whole show. And I was so sad when he died. He dies from an axe to the face when they're in that grocery store. And I think he's so great. And I just because of my personal love for him, I'm going to give him an A. I do think it's quite brutal. And it's like, it really does kick off this series when you see like the bread slicer, and then you see like, you know, the axe to the face, and they're trying to drown Sam. So there's a lot going on in that scene. Stephanie. Oh yes, I remember Stephanie. Stephanie is a nurse in the hospital, I believe. She's a nurse in the hospital. She was really giving them attitude, and then, you know, a couple of minutes later, she was dead. And you don't see her death, but you do see her bloody body on the floor, and it's pretty brutal. So I'm gonna give that one a B. And then the last one I have, look, I can't believe I've done this so fast, guys. It was so many. The last one I have is the widow, and this is the widow in the third one. And when Sarah goes back to the house to see what the widow's doing, or if they can help make a pact with the widow, how she's hanging, tries to go for help. She gets there and she finds that the widow is dead, and we know that Good killed the widow. So, I mean, you don't really see much, so I'm going to give that one a C. That's all of the deaths that I recorded of Fear Street. Let me know what you think and where you would have put what. I'll see if I can make a link for this so you guys can use it as well. It's just really funny because you think there would be more in C and D, but because of this series was so good, it really shows, because they creative kills all up at S and A and B, but there's so many in S more than C and D. I'm sure you can see this by looking at the graph, but it's kind of interesting that there was so many in S. I really liked Fear Street, and I really liked the kills, and I didn't really even understand that until now. I just think that there was so much brutality, and a lot of these are quite emotional up here as well. Sarah, I love how Sarah gets a place and then her hand gets a place as well. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you'd like me to do another tier list, let me know. I can definitely do this again. I just wanted to have fun and do something a little bit different with you guys. So give me your feedback, and I'll leave the link to this down below if you want to do it yourself. I believe I can just give you the same setup that I had. Anyway, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for supporting me, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Stay spooky. Bye.